First, the highlights. The Lagos State government organizes Jumat service to mark Nigeria's 65th Independence Day celebration. President Tinubu arrives Lagos on working visit, meets private sector stakeholders, others. Unforeign Israeli Prime Minister attacks recognition of Palestinian state as dozens walk out of United Nations speech. And in sports, Golden Eaglet head coach Manu Garba confident of victory against Burkina Faso in Wafu B on the 17 championship. And now the details. I am Mike James. The Lagos government has organized a dedicated Jumat service as part of activities marking the 65th Nigeria's Independence Day celebration. Speaking at the Lagos Secretariat Community Central Mosque at the event, organized by the Ministry of Home Affairs, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu reassured citizens that President Bola Tinubu's ongoing reforms are strategically designed to stabilize and reposition the nation's economy for sustainable growth. Governor Sanwo-Olu, who was represented by his deputy, Obafemi Hamzat, acknowledged the temporary hardships caused by policy adjustments, particularly in the financial sector, but stressed that the long-term benefit would outweigh the current difficulties. He also called on Nigerians to reflect on the essence of independence, emphasizing unity, resilience, and patriotism as vital ingredients for national progress. The governor commended Lagosians for their continued cooperation with government policies and assured that Lagos State would continue to align its development agenda with federal initiatives to improve the quality of life of its residents. Head of Service, Bode Aguru, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Housing, Afiz Toriola, described the celebration as another milestone in the annals of the country. Delivering a short kubath at the event, a Muslim cleric, Sheikh Shakiru Gafar, urged Nigerians to uphold the values of patience, sacrifice, and unity. Prayers were offered for the peace of the country, the president and family, Lagos State Governor and deputy cabinet members, lawmakers, other top government functionaries, residents, and Nigerians in general. The Lagos State government has charged newly approved private school owners to uphold higher standards in curriculum delivery, discipline, and compliance with the state educational guidelines. Speaking at the presentation of provisional approval letters to 75 new private school operators at the NUT Pavilion, Alausa Ikeja, Commissioner for Basic and Secondary Education, Dolani Ali Balogun, reiterated the state's commitment to quality education across both public and private schools. Ali Balogun explained that the issuance of the provisional certificate followed a rigorous accreditation exercise to ensure that schools meet the minimum requirements in infrastructure, curriculum delivery, safety, and staff quality. He said the move is part of efforts to sanitize the education sector and promote excellence in learning outcomes, stressing that education remains a critical pillar of Lagos State's development. The commissioner urged the school owners to work in synergy with government policies, employ only qualified teachers, certified by the Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria, TRCN, and ensure strict adherence to safety guidelines. As part of activities marking the Lagos State Domestic and Sexual Violence Awareness Month 2025, Lagos Island Maternity Hospital has hosted a continuing medical education session for hospital staff themed Appropriate Behavior at Work, Preventing Workplace Harassment. Chairman of the SGBV Committee, Akintoye, presented findings from a recent staff survey on SGBV, offering an in-depth analysis of the different forms of abuse and related issues. The session was designed to build staff capacity on addressing issues of sexual and gender-based violence, SGBV, within the workplace. And now to the rest of the stories. President Bola Tinubu has arrived in Lagos on a working visit after attending the coronation of the 44th Olubadan of Ibadan land, Rashidi Ladoja in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. The president's visit comes as Nigeria prepares for a modest celebration of its 65th independence anniversary. While in Lagos, Tinubu is expected to meet with key players in the private sector as well as senior government officials. The president will proceed to Imo State on Tuesday, September 30, where he is scheduled to inaugurate a number of projects executed by Governor Hope Uzodinma. The president assured Nigerians that the sacrifices of the past 2 years would soon yield tangible benefits. Anambra State Governor Chukwuma Soludo has urged members of the 2025 Batch B Stream 2 of the National Youth Service Corps to embrace discipline, patriotism, and responsibility as they begin their service year in the state. Speaking during the swearing-in and opening ceremony of the exercise, Soludo, who was represented by the State's Commissioner for Youth Development, Patrick Mba, reminded the Corps members that the oath of allegiance they had taken was not a mere ritual, but a solemn covenant to uphold the values of service, integrity, unity, and sacrifice. The governor praised the NYSC as one of Nigeria's most enduring post-Civil War institutions, stressing its pivotal role in fostering integration and grassroots development. The Lagos State chapter of the All Progressives Congress, APC, has reacted to alleged reports of deep cracks within the African Democratic Congress, ADC, and the wider opposition coalition ahead of 2027 elections. In a statement signed by its Lagos spokesperson, Sheye Oladejo, the party says most of the ADC's leaders can be accused of political bigamy because they maintain their membership of different political parties. The statement says President Bola Tinubu is focused on reforms, revenue growth, and building a lasting legacy, evident in the recent by-elections that saw APC sweep to victory nationwide. And in some foreign news, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has attacked the recognition of a Palestinian state by multiple Western countries during a combative speech at the United Nations General Assembly. Netanyahu labeled the recognition moves a mark of shame that sent the message that murdering Jews pay off. He displayed a map labeled The Curse that, he said, showed Iranian proxy groups across the Middle East. Netanyahu then highlighted Israeli military operations across the past year against Hezbollah in Lebanon, the Houthis in Yemen, Hamas in Gaza, and Iran. He thanked the United States President Donald Trump for American involvement in bombing Iran's Fordo nuclear site in June and drew parallels between Hamas's October 7, 2023 attack on Israel and the 9/11 attack on the U.S. Over to sports news. Golden Eaglet head coach Manu Garba is optimistic his side will have a good outing against Burkina Faso. Garba's side will take on Baby Stallions of Burkina Faso in their second game at the ongoing Wafu B Under-17 Championship on Saturday. The Golden Eaglets started their campaign with a 4-1 thumping of Benin Republic on Wednesday. Nigeria needs a draw from the game to top Group B, but Garba is targeting maximum points. Garba also commended the efforts of his young players against Benin Republic, noting that none of the players was in the last edition of the tournament in Ghana. That was our news at noon. Just before we go, do not drive without a valid driver license. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms: X, Traffic Radio 961, Facebook, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. We are also on Instagram, Lagos Traffic Radio 961. Subscribe and watch our news and programs. It's live on YouTube, Traffic Radio 961. Visit our website, www.trafficradio961.ng. You can also listen to Lagos Traffic Radio live on my Lagos app for timely updates. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration completed Obasekomade Road, Ikpakodo Ikorodu? Well, you can get more details on the Legacy Government website. To end the news, here are the highlights of the major stories. The Legacy Government has organized a dedicated Jumat service as part of activities marking the 65th Nigeria's Independence Day celebration. President Bola Tinubu has arrived in Lagos on a working visit after attending the coronation of the 44th Olubadan of Ibadan land, Rashidi Ladoja in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. We also told you that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has attacked the recognition of a Palestinian state by multiple Western countries during a combative speech at the United Nations General Assembly. And in sports, Golden Eaglet head coach Manu Garba is optimistic his side will have a good outing against Burkina Faso. And for contacts with the newsroom, send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. That ends the news broadcast from Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM.